Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Like Queen Lisa. Today is Friday, so you guys know what that means. We always grab something red so that we're remembering everyone deployed and thinking of them. So grab a red Solo cup, put some red lipstick on, grab your red MAGA hat. I don't know. Do something red and join us for happy hour. My buddy Westwood's on the other side of this, and hopefully Johnny Like Queen's going to pop in too. So we'll see you right after this. Hey, welcome back, Westwood. Good to see you. Seems like you were just here.
I know. It's kind of strange being here.
It went so fast.
I know. Yesterday was Thursday, and I thought, well, last Thursday at this time, I was on the road to Oklahoma City in the digital.
That's right. That's right. Hitting all the stoplights and stop signs.
Telling you,
You're missing my neck of the woods I saw on your video this morning.
Yes.
I did love your message, though.
Country mouse.
Yes, I know, but I love your message about like looking at things a different way. Like we don't have to go through the typical pathways. We don't have to use realtor.com. You know, there are public access to open records that you can find out who owns that property on the county tax assessor's thing. And so then we can work in a more peer-to-peer society. And the more we do that, the less we get taken advantage of, the less vampires that are out, all of that. Yeah. So I loved your advice.
No, I mean, that's a good thing, though, because we're not taught this stuff in school. I mean, these are fundamental things that we should be taught in school, but instead we depend on a realtor to kind of find the information for us. And I've sold enough houses because I've bounced around so much that, I mean, I got to the point where it's like, I'll just sell it myself. And a few of the homes, I just said, I just do it myself, write up your own contract. And it's not that difficult. It really isn't. And I mean, as far as the tax bill, you can look it up. You can see the taxes, the property taxes that you can pay. I mean, it's all there. It's all public record. So if you're looking to buy something, if you know where you're going to buy it at, you can kind of go and do some public record searches at the courthouse and even online now. It's so easy. You just look it up, look up the address. You see, oh, okay, well, they're paying their own property taxes. So they probably own the house because it's not a bank taking it out of escrow account, you know, paying the property tax. So you know, at some point, you know, you've got something you want to trade, you know, as a silver, Litecoin, whatever it is, you might say, I really like this place. Make an offer. I know people that, you know, had a $2 million condo in Florida, and somebody walked up to the door when they saw him and said, hey, man, I'd like to buy this place. And the price is right. They buy it.
Wow.
And it's just, you never know until you ask.
You don't think about it like that. We've been so trained to, you know,
go to realtor.com or go to this website, that website.
Go through the licensing things, you're not smart enough to take care of yourself. You're not smart enough to take care of your own money. You're not smart enough to figure out your own retirement. You know, you have to trust the professionals.
That's right. They know best. Trust the realtor.
They know what's best for you and what makes them the most amount of money with your money while they're using your money.
You coming back and letting them handle everything. Because, I mean, I've just dealt with it. Nothing against realtors, but it's just like they're
it's not just for realtors, yeah.
No, I mean, in that particular instance, they're just looking for the next deal. So, I mean, you call on them, it's like, hey, what do I do here? And you got to do a lot of research on your own anyway. So it's like, you know what? Just pick up the ball and save 6-7% commission. Just saying.
Yes. Letha D is in the chat. She won one of the silver bars, the Road to Ruta signed by Big Swear. Roto-Rooter. I'm so tired today.
Cleaning out the system.
I had a rough day yesterday. So she won one of those at the auction for Team Mighty, and I'm going to be mailing those out. So I will be sending you an email if I haven't already, Letha, to get your mailing address, or you can DM me your mailing address or email me LitecoinLisa2, the number 2 @gmail.com, and send me your mailing address so that I can get those sent to you. Well, I'll reach out to you because then that way I know which Letha is the real Letha. Will the real Letha stand up?
Please stand up.
And I appreciate your support. And Mame is super excited about it. I had the dollar amount. Oh, I just turned my phone off. Hold on.
Of course, right?
Yeah,
Oh, Lord.
that we were able to raise for her. Oh, I can't get it to come back on. It's probably dead. I think I announced it on Monday. Did I jump on? I think I jumped on Monday. There's a really short video. It's like 7 minutes long. And I talked about like a wrap up of the event and told everybody how much money we had made for Mame, but it was about $9,000, a little over $9,000. And that was really exciting. Some of it she received directly at the event. And then there's some more of it that will come after the things like the Eventbrite or Eventbrite has to settle out and go into the Team Mighty account. And then I can cut a check to her. And anyway, but, and the money from the auction as well, that'll go in. And then when my bank releases it, see all these middlemen, instead of just, where's the person in our community in need, go buy a Team Mighty NFT. And that continues. That's something that's ongoing. It doesn't go to Team Mighty, but she's doing it. It honors Mia, and the funds, the Litecoin goes directly into Mame's wallet. So if that's something that you're still interested in, you can still go to, I think I have the information still in the description. I probably need to update my copy and paste from my description. I jumped on here kind of late, but the NFT part on OmniLite, you can still purchase those NFTs, and that money will go to help Mame directly into her wallet. So that's peer-to-peer, supporting a friend who's going through a really challenging time. And it was just a really beautiful, beautiful weekend. Like, it was full of just family. It was everything we said it was going to be. It was family, yes, food, fun, friends, freedom, all the F's.
And Westwood leave no felonies though this time.
No felonies. And Westwood left his flip-flops here.
Left my flip-flops and with some cologne and all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of things. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a tank-topped something walking up the driveway right now.
Oh, really?
Walking this way.
With a swagger.
Yeah, I got the right. He's got the moves like Jagger. I've got the door open in the bar. What I want to do, and I got to talk to him before he skates out somewhere and leaves, is building like a little. What I want to do is put a frame and put some of the mesh. Hey, shut up.
That's when you know somebody's coming to visit.
But no, put
who needs
for the whole garage door? You know.
Oh, so that's a great idea.
Airflow, like during
events. But have like, hey, look, somebody else is here.
Yo.
Yo, what's up, Johnny?
What's up, Johnny? What's up?
We missed you last week, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to get back in time to do our show last night. So I'm glad you could join us here and kind of catch us up on what's going on with Litecoin. I saw an article.
Hey, don't let them out.
Venmo is
because they're loose.
they're on the loose.
They are. They're not tied up.
Okay.
Yeah, Lisa, the Venmo news. That's the biggest news.
That's huge.
Ever for Litecoin adoption to date. Reason being, Venmo is hands down the most popular payment app peer-to-peer in the United States, hands down. PayPal's somewhat popular, but PayPal's more for old people like us. Kids don't use
PayPal owned by Venmo, or
it is
vice versa? Okay.
So PayPal owns Venmo, but kids all use Venmo, and now, and a lot of merchants use Venmo for payment acceptance. Now, say I was just talking to my friend Greg. He was talking about like baseball card dealers. He loves baseball cards. Baseball card dealers, they all use Venmo. I said, well, it is kind of risky because Venmo, you can still pull the payments back, charge them back. Go to Clint Westwood's story. You're selling a car on a weekend and you want to say, hey, I'll take Venmo as the payment, right? Well, first of all, Venmo, if you send over a couple $1,000s, they're probably going to hold the money on you. Second of all, how do you know it's not a fraudulent payment? You don't.
Yeah.
Now, here's the problem with accepting Litecoin. Or Bitcoin, most normies and most people, they don't want to keep the stuff because they don't know about it. They're like, well, I just see money in my bank account. So it's not, you can't go through this whole thing of teaching them and training them. But you could say, hey, look, Venmo, just accept Litecoin so you can't get fraud and convert it right to
right there
cash and send it to your bank account. If you send it to your fiat god if you want,
So they can swap it then or it automatically turns into USD.
No, it'll come in as Litecoin, and then you can just go right in and sell it and send the money to your bank account.
Yep, it's right there. It's easy to do now.
I'm done.
That sounds like a granny wallet. Remember Uncle Cliff's data? He talked about the granny wallet.
Venmo is a granny wallet because everyone uses Venmo, and it's easy to use. I'm done trying to convince people of why Litecoin, why Bitcoin. I'll put the info out. If you come to that conclusion on your own, I'm happy to help you, show you how to do the transaction, help you with the wallet. You have a question about how to transfer stuff off an exchange. I can't try to convince people this is why Litecoin is better than fiat. It's too much arguing with people. It's too much. It's too stressful. You know what? I leave a lot of conversations. I want to slam my head into the wall.
I had one today, Johnny, where people, they comment on the video and it's just like, Litecoin's a dog. It's a piece of crap. You need to get into Solana,
Satoshi,
Cardano.
Charlie Lee sold at the top.
Oh my God, it just gets old. And it's like, but I can use it on Venmo and PayPal.
Yeah. You know what? If you want fiat and that's what you're trained to want, God bless you. You know what?
Bless your pea-picking heart.
They might say, well, why do you, exactly. Bless your pea-picking heart. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I did an angry video before because I did a tweet today about being at the gym, and I always carry a piece of silver with me. I carry a Litecoin silver round, and I carry an ounce of silver, and I throw them down next to me at the gym when I work out because it'll fall out of my pockets. I always carry these with me. I actually even carry I carry 3 because 3 is a good number, one of Tesla's numbers.
I like the number 3.
So and I carry a Morgan dollar as well.
Oh, nice.
That was the tweet. And I said, if you scroll up a little bit, Lisa, I'll read it. It says, in an attempt to wake up normies, I throw a 1 ounce bar of silver and a Litecoin silver around on the floor next to me while at the gym. Although most are nice people, they are constantly asleep in regards to the financial system. How do we wake them up? So
a great way to not get MRSA or staph at the gym.
Yes.
Yeah, you got your silver, your antibacterial right there. So some guy came in and he was like, whoa, this is weird. Why would people be talking about this at the gym, this and that? And he kept on and on about it. I got kind of pissed because I'm like, I don't go up to people talking to them about this stuff. People see the bar of silver. Sometimes people at the gym go to move your stuff because they want to use that thing. And they'll say, oh, wow, that's cool. What is that? And they'll ask me about it. And everyone that's asked me about it has never had any clue about silver. I'll say, oh, it's physical silver. I carry it with me because, and they're just like, they literally have no clue. And then I'll try to relate it to Litecoin, and they're just clueless about it all. So that's why I said nice people, but they're just not in the know at all about the financial system. So you're really I love the gym, but you're really in normie central. You got people they're taking selfies of themselves for their TikTok all the time. They're going in the mirror.
Oh, quit staring at me.
Oh my God.
With your eyes.
I am a starer. You wear something tight to the gym, I walk up and stare. I'm like,
I mean,
because I'm waiting for them to say, you're staring at me. I'm gonna be like, no, lady, you're staring at me. I actually look better than you, right? And I'm gonna break out my phone and refilm. I'm posting this on social media because you're staring at me and making me uncomfortable.
It's give me my personal space.
Yeah.
No
Wait, are you
prisoners.
still looking? Are you still looking?
Don't wear that stuff to the gym. You know what?
Right.
You don't want to be stared at. First of all, if someone's staring at you, it's a compliment.
I was gonna say, can we just not? I can't tell you how many men, grown men who are my friends, will say, "Wow, you look really nice." I don't mean to offend you. What? Since when is that offensive?
That offensive?
No, it's nice to tell somebody, Cannon, when I get dressed up, he'll notice, like, if I put a dress on or, I'm not in my, like, mom and it clothes or whatever. He's like, you look really nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a compliment. It's nice.
I get stared at the gym sometimes by people. It's a compliment. Hey, if sometimes people say, oh, wow, all looking good or this and that. Hey, thank you. This and that.
Yeah, you work hard for it.
Yeah.
That's why
I'm not
you're
like,
there.
how dare you? Like, like, this is the world we're in.
I know. It's so
This is
upside
part of
down.
the war that we're in. They've brought the war to our doorstep, and it's all part of this manipulation through TikTok that this is where we've got to as a society, that it's offensive to tell someone, wow, you look nice, you look attractive. That's offensive. I mean, come on.
That is just so, but that is this world upside down. Where our public servants want us to call them leaders.
They work for us.
Yes,
I always remind people of that. They work for us. Every last one of these mother effers is our employee. We, the people, are their boss. We pay their salaries. They work for us, but they want us to look up to them and put them on this pedestal. No, you work for freaking us. We got to start thinking that way.
Yes, I loved this today. There's this, I guess he's a really liberal radio host. He has a very weird name, though. Charlemagne the God. He needs to go to homeschool.
Oh, Charlemagne the God. He's out of, he's on the radio in New York. One of the popular like channels, like Hot. I think it's Hot 97. That's the popular like rap station in the New York area.
Okay. I just thought this was hilarious. Like, the tides are turning and the people are coming together. This is so like Kim Clemente prophecy. But I was going to play this and see what you guys thought.
Run it again. Joe Biden, man. Biden. Listen, when you start your video off saying whatever, you put out your statement and it says, "Fucking you're in condition to run."
Get out of here, bro. Democrats are goofies, bro. Look how goofy y'all are. Y'all really judge Trump and people who like Trump when you got this motherfucker running again?
And they all get dead. Oh God, they're gonna play it.
Oh Jesus.
Personal freedom is fundamental to who we are as Americans.
There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred.
That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy.
Americans are shambles. I don't give a fuck what he said.
To protect our rights, to make sure that everyone in this country is treated equally and that everyone is given a fair shot.
I'm not listening to 3 minutes of this shit, yo.
I love that.
The world is in shambles.
Around the country.
Aren't you embarrassed to be a Democrat?
America is in shambles. I'm not a Democrat.
So, yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
I'm not a Republican either.
Yeah, boy.
I'm nothing.
Yeah, I'm not saying you got to be a Republican.
I'm an American.
What about you, Chris? You like Biden? You voting for Biden again?
I think we could use a fresh new person on the
That's
seat.
why it's whack that the DNC won't let nobody They won't do no primaries next year, man. Do a fucking primary debate.
Hey, pussy.
Put Joe Biden up on that stage with Bobby Kennedy, who's challenging him, and Marianne Williamson, and whoever steps up to the plate, and let's have a fucking discussion, yo.
This is an adult show. I probably should have prefaced that. But I think it's interesting. So the DNC has made an announcement. They're not doing debates, not allowing debates next year. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, would you if you had Biden as the anointed candidate? I mean, even with the voice impediment that Robert Kennedy has, he'd mop the floor with the guy because he comes with facts and research. The guy knows his stuff. Biden, if he doesn't have the pre-screened questions and the reporter to call on next, he has no clue. If he doesn't have the star on the floor like Johnny Carson had, at the Tonight Show, they get a little star on the floor. If he doesn't know where to stand, he's clueless. And Trump the other day was so funny. Think what you want of Trump, but he's a comedian, man. Because he was talking about, oh, I'm Joe. I'm walking off the stage. Then he comes out with this pre-scripted, ad. And it took 7 days to make it, and he's just making fun of the whole campaign thing because it's so true. He can't think on the fly. He can't think on his feet. And I mean, 81 million votes? Seriously? Come on.
It's a joke. We're living in an upside down world. We're living in a joke society. The fact that they can't even have a debate is a joke. Mm-hmm. They owe that to the people. Now, I'm not a Democrat, obviously, but for their sake, for the sake of the country, I would like to see a Democratic debate. I'm an American. I'm not Republican or Democrat. I'm American. So yes. I'd want to let the best candidate win. Bobby Kennedy. I like some of his ideas. I'd like to see what he has to say.
Yeah. Let's
Can
hear
he
it.
Debate Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Can
vote for the person, not the party.
vote for the person, not the party.
Here's the most disappointing thing about that they're not going to do debates is, the Democratic Party is because I'm not going to be able to watch Tulsi Gabbard now. I mean, I was looking forward to having her up there.
She left the Democrat Party.
She left them.
Oh, she left it. Well, she should come back. Yeah. Her and RFK, they can do really well. They can do huge, bigly, do very well.
Interesting.
She left them. It's just, we're in a, it's actually funny that Charlemagne the God guy, the channel that he was on, I used to listen to some rap music. Embarrassed to say, but it would pump me up kind of, and just the beat or whatever kind of get me going. And it's got so bad, the stuff they talk about. It's part of the manipulation. So I've listened to the older stuff more, but I had to actually never listen to the channel again because when COVID hit, it was all vax propaganda.
And see, now it comes out they're all paid for this. That all this money was sponsoring these people to promote this stuff, and I mean, it's just I don't want to tie it back to the money, but it's about the money, and it's all about just picking the winners and losers, funding the propaganda machine, and a lot of these people went away with it, and that's why you tuned out because it's like this isn't real anymore. This is BS.
I checked out of it's why I stopped watching. Well, not that I was big into sports to begin with, but I would watch a game here and there. Every time I turn on the regular TV, it was vax propaganda. Mm-hmm. I just said, I can't be subjected to this. Yeah. And even though if you're like, no, I got my defense up against it, it's psychological manipulation. And I don't want it. I don't even want it in my thought process. So, the worst is the NBA.
They're China owned.
They're the complete worst. And it shows in their ratings, in their viewership. I mean, I'm sure it's popular in China. So that guy Vivek that's running for president, Republican.
Yeah, I've seen him a couple.
I like that guy. And he actually said before he's more of a Jordan guy than a LeBron guy, and couldn't agree more. Michael Jordan, when he played basketball, you left politics at the door. You said, I'm going to play basketball or watch basketball to watch the game, watch the athletes. You don't care about their social justice bullshit. Mm-hmm. And once COVID hit, that's all it became. LeBron James has single-handedly ruined basketball. The man he's a menace. He's one of the worst people in this country. I mean, he's like the Antichrist walking around, this guy. And he's killed the viewership. Now he's the best player out now, and he's killed the NBA just from being such a jackass.
Yep.
And
I don't want to watch him. Why would
I
watch him?
hate the man. He's an angry
He
angry
is.
guy. What do you
Argues
have
with
to be
fans in the
angry about?
stands.
You've made more money.
Mm-hmm.
You're the best basketball. You're the most physically gifted player out, and you're angry? You should be walking around with a smile on your face from ear to ear. Like, what a lucky guy. He's freaking angry, this guy. Like, and he's the worst influence on people. What a just complete piece of crap. So I don't.
He's a creep.
Tell us how you really feel, Johnny.
I'd
Tell
love
us how
to
you
fight
really
him. I would love to fight his ass.
Here we go.
Johnny Litecoin versus
Johnny
let's-
calls out
Let's
LeBron
do it.
right
Let's
here.
do it.
You guys
Right
heard
now.
it
Let's
live.
We're gonna be
schedule
live
right
on
now.
Happy Hour.
Let's
Get your
schedule
NFT.
LeBron. I'm
watch it.
challenging you to a fight for charity. You want to fight me? You
You
got
are
1
amazing.
foot on me. You should be able to kick my ass. Let's go.
Johnny says, "You want a
Go.
shot at the title? You want a
You want a
shot?"
shot at the title?
That's right.
You've seen Rocky. I'm gonna light you the fuck up.
If you are voting for Donald Trump for president in 2024, let me hear it.
They go crazy.
If you are voting for Ron DeSantis in 2024, let me hear it.
Crickets. So my point with that is the people are waking up. Look at this. You know, Tucker Carlson was just fired from Fox. And he had more views on his first Twitter monologue Wednesday than all cable news shows for the entire day combined. This is where we, the people, can, if we will take our voice, and Johnny's calling them out. You know, Tucker's saying, you know what? Goodbye. I'm out of this nightmare dystopian prison. I'm going to go speak my truth on Twitter, wherever you can speak your truth. Like, I think this is amazing. That's freedom to me. And it's going to wake more and more people up. And people are searching for it if he's getting those kind of numbers.
Yep. And you know what happened? I mean, he was the number 1 rated show, well, pretty far on Fox. And you think, well, why would they get rid of their bread and butter? Why?
I heard
would they
there's some
fire him?
lawsuit in the background.
There probably is.
It has
but-
to do with
Yeah, I mean,
something
possibly.
about dominoes or having dominion over someone,
Having
something like
dominion,
that.
You think, we are dominion, the
Yeah.
evil connotation of that. But
Yeah.
I mean, even that, aside, all the truth that he was starting to bring out to where it didn't matter if it was right, left, whatever it was. He's just calling it out for what it was. And you got to go. You're like breaking the paradigm here. We can't have that because we got to have the left-right control structure. Hannity, we love you because you support the Republicans, and all Democrats are bad, and then you've got the other side. Oh, all Republicans are bad. And so,
Lisa,
Sorry, I had to
gotta
put
have
this.
that.
off this Donald guy because
Yeah, that's hilarious. I think it must be a troll or a bot because
Nothing
clearly
I
they
said-
don't watch the
nothing
show.
I said was racist there.
No,
I said
yeah,
I like
you-
Michael Jordan, who's a black man, over LeBron
you're
James. who's a
mentally
black
ill
man.
if you need to be evaluated, sir.
Nothing I said
Um,
was racist there. I'm not blaming black people for anything.
And if
I'm
you
blaming
think
LeBron James, the person, as a fucking jackass.
Yeah. If you think the NBA is owned by white people, you need to go ask them all why they aren't allowed to. They had to run everything by the CCP, including down to their uniforms. And only Freedom Cantor from Oklahoma.
Exactly. That's
Told
what
them
they
to F
want you to
off.
think, Donald. That's what they
Yeah,
want you
you're
to
being
think.
fooled,
It's the
Donald.
CCP controlling them,
thanks for
manipulating your
stopping by.
mind.
thanks for the attention.
I'm glad that you're looking for freedom or looking for truth, Donald. That's great that you're searching for truth.
But see,
out
that's
there.
what they want, though. They want this argument, this divide and conquer BS, because that's what they know how to do. Instead of focusing on the real issues and the real problems, it's easy to put the straw man up on the right and the left, and then, okay, your guy's bad. Biden's an idiot. Yeah,
Right.
he's an idiot. Oh, Trump's an a-hole. Yeah, he's an a-hole.
Yeah.
And so then you resonate with that. So anything they say, you shut down on either side. And it's just like, that's why I love, people like Robert Kennedy coming out, and it's going to blow the mind of the left because, he's bringing out stuff that, they were kind of behind, and now he's putting it out there, and now ABC News censors him. I mean, you got ABC News censoring a Democrat, you know, like Democratic Party forever, JFK, you know, back to 1960. And it's like, it's gonna fracture their heads and make people's minds blow. And that's the key here. It's like, okay, you got to like unchain from all of this conditioning, and you got to, you know, get fractured, you know, and break all the, you know, all the conditioning that you've had. And that's what's important right now. And I hope this election does it. I mean, I don't care. You know, it doesn't matter at this point who wins, because if it teaches you to say, I don't trust any of it, and I'm just going to make decisions for myself, I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to go forward with my own opinion rather than, well, we need this guy in. So, you know, I don't care if he gets off a bus and says, grab him by the, you know what, I'm voting for him. You know, you just got to get to that mentality to where it's like,
that's hearsay.
What difference? Yeah, it is. I mean, but what difference does it make at this point? What difference does it make? You know, you've got to get to that point to where it's like, they really don't affect your day-to-day lives. And if they do, and they come down, like, you know, with the whole thing for the last 3 years and try to enforce this stuff, it comes out now that, yeah, we kind of lied to you, and you see them backpedaling. Well, we never told you had to do it. And so that's why it's so important
I had
to
a
trust
friend
yourself going forward, because they're going to do it again and again and again. And so you got to break free from that matrix and say, I'm just going to live like I want to live. You know, I'm going to be a real American. I'm going to live by, you know, freedom and not hurt anybody. And
we shouldn't put too much focus on
F
these
them.
people.
Yeah, who cares?
There
what
was
they
something
say?
that a friend of mine, that her husband's in the medical field, and I said, well, aren't you afraid of these lawsuits that are coming in? And she said, no. And she said, I'm disappointed. And he's really disgusted and frustrated with the whole system. But she said,
Thank you,
there's a reason. Yes. Very nice. Gifts between friends. There's a reason that nurses, that doctors don't give pricks, that the nurses come in and do it. If you think about it, think about that, you guys.
Plausible deniability, I guess, is what you'd call it, huh?
That's some sick stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's that layer of, you know, that separation, that compartmentalization, and that's what they do. That's why you don't know who did this action. Hey, how did those towers fall?
We got more shippy and spewed by Donald. Donald, it's controlled by the CCP. They cave to China on everything.
Well, we're going to get rid of Donald, because the minute he challenges my parenting with my
100%.
Black child, you're a piece of shit, Donald.
What have you done? Like when
Ad hominem
Lisa
attacks.
has done more than you've done. Get the hell out of here.
How many children are you raising out of foster care system and trying to help the community and reaching out and being a decent human to other humans in need? Like
zero, Donald, zero.
Right. Here's the thing,
Donald.
Lisa. They're out there to, and I had the instance today, you know, and there's a guy. It's like, you watch all my stuff, and then you just got to come at me about silly stuff. And it's like, well, what have you done? You're not doing anything. And it's like, I'm not going to sit here and argue.
When you make it personal about my family, that's something completely
but that's what
different.
they want to do.
You're not
even
a human at that point.
They're just vampires, and they just want to take your energy. They just want to get you to react, because they get off on that. You know, these people, all they want to do is argue. I guarantee they don't have a partner or a spouse or whatever, because all they do is want to argue with you. Well, you can't engage in a debate. No, you just want to argue. You want to argue about stuff. You want to make people get upset and, you know, spend their energy on you. And it's like, you know what? Guess what? You ain't going to be hanging out with me having a beer.
But that is the distraction that they want to put all of us against each other.
So
like Donald tried to make it a race issue when none of us were talking about race.
And he doesn't
he's
care
going
about
to interject himself and then throw personal slanders in.
This is the least racist show. The cup we're drinking on, Team Mighty, was for a Black girl that you raised,
my daughter,
Lisa, that had cancer that you took in. The
and I was blessed by it. Don't get me wrong. She was one of the biggest blessings of my life. I'm no victim in raising her. I love her. I was the greatest joy. One of the greatest joys 100%. Of my life are my children. But how dare you? But that's the thing. Like, now we're talking about things that he's the distraction, and he's not even in the room. He's not part of our fam.
No.
He doesn't know who we are or what we're talking about. If he's here to talk about freedom and talk about loving each other, freedom, friendship, being personally responsible for things, You're welcome in the channel anytime, Donald. That's what we're here for, and supporting one another. So, but you just can't. You're not going to come in and disrupt our fam.
So did you see the former vice president, giving a little promo or an anti-promo against Donald Trump today? I mean, what a dick.
Was this the one where he was
Dick
with
Cheney.
with
Dick Cheney sitting there acting like a cowboy, the Emperor Palpatine, saying that. That's not the one, but that's
not it. Notice no one salutes him.
Oh, yeah. And did you see he had to put his own luggage in the car, Biden?
Yeah,
see that
I
video?
saw that. When does a president move their own luggage around?
They don't.
When they're moving out.
What's up with that? Well, or
Where's
was that the actor?
Dick Cheney
or the
one?
clone?
Yeah, who knows?
Will it say, like, if I do Dick Cheney?
I think it was like Republicans against Trump was the handle on Twitter, and it's just like, Dick Cheney, really? I mean, this is the guy, you want to drag out, the neocon, the warmonger, and you're going to, that's like the biggest endorsement of Trump. And you see,
isn't he responsible for the 2008 thing? Wasn't he involved in the 2008?
He was involved in the 2001 thing. I know that in New York.
Yeah, we know he was involved in that.
He was involved in no bid contracts to Iraq. He was involved in pumping weapons of mass destruction. Talk about lying and somebody detrimental to the republic. Come on.
Well, yeah, the 2008 financial crisis was on Bush's watch. So yeah,
absolutely.
Obama didn't get in until January 2009. So yeah, we got to blame Bush and Cheney for that.
There's that beautiful offspring.
Pure evil, right there.
They couldn't even rig the vote for her. Couldn't even get
She's
close.
the one that sat on the stage and said, well, everybody knew what was happening on that island. Mm-hmm. We've all known.
Mm-hmm. Well, that
somebody
was McCain's
asked us,
daughter, I think.
They said, hey, payments. Talk about the MasterCard announcement. Will they actually use coin or just exposure to price? Thanks. What's this MasterCard announcement?
I don't know.
I saw it.
I don't remember.
To me, the Venmo announcement was, I was distracted by that. I know there was a MasterCard announcement.
I'll look it up.
It was about 88. I think it was like Matic and maybe 88. There's a few coins that are going to be partnering or being used for MasterCard. And I'm like, okay, if you're one of the 4 coins on PayPal or Venmo that accept all these cards, you're already being used. And Litecoin's one of them. And you got to ask yourself why. Litecoin's already in the existing payment structure. Trust me, I would rather get away from the legacy structure rather than leaning on it as a crutch to where it's like, oh, cool, MasterCard and Visa are going to use this. Litecoin can already do all that stuff. And
here's one thing I'll say to in defense of Visa and MasterCard, not that I want to defend the legacy structure, they're just a payment rail. Right now, the banks control the transaction. Right. When a credit card is payments made, the issuing bank that issued that card talks to the acquiring bank, which is on the merchant's end, and that gives you that approval. You could run Visa or MasterCard on top of a blockchain, and then the network will give you that approval. I guess for it to work better on Bitcoin or Litecoin, you'd probably want to use it on something like a Lightning network, so you get more of an instant settlement, so it can give you that approval right then and there. But my feeling is that Visa and MasterCard will expand, whereas the banks become less needed. They'll run on other types of currencies. My real thinking is with the CBDC, when they roll that out, they're going to do it in a manner in which the public won't realize they're using a CBDC, because they're going to airdrop the CBDC into your bank app and have a Visa or MasterCard connected to it. And then you could just spend on that Visa or MasterCard. Remember, you still have to spend in a similar manner. So right now, what's the infrastructure that's laid down? It's Visa or MasterCard that's integrated into all these point of sale systems. So it's going to be very hard. Businesses are stubborn. It's really hard to tell them, hey, you have to take this for payment now. Trust me, I've been in the payments business. They're like, no. Has to work through this computer system or we won't do it. So
we don't want to retrain and we don't want to have to buy new equipment.
Re-put in equipment. It's an expense. It's training. It's time. It's money. It's effort. It's headache. It's this. It's that. So if you can meet them where they're ready to be met at, so Visa or MasterCard could run on top of something else. That was always my feeling, that they would run on top of blockchains, and the public can just spend as usual. The stores don't need to, it would be a lot to have a store say, hey, do you want to accept crypto on chain? And it works different than how their system works there. Now you could drop a crypto app into a lot of these systems, but Visa or MasterCard is the main railway that's in them. That's the major rail line that's in there. So you want to work on that major rail line that's already in there.
Yeah, because it would almost be like, hey, we got all these gasoline vehicles, all these diesel vehicles, and all these filling stations all over the country. The infrastructure's in place. Now all of a sudden you want to say, hey, let's just redo everything. Let's go all electric. Well, where am I going to charge my stuff? I mean, it's like taking a whole shift. And so, yeah, let's use the existing payment rails. Let's use the existing systems. And then, yeah, we can transition, maybe put the charging stations where these stations are and migrate into it. But you can't discount the fact of all the, like you said, the rails that have been laid, all the train tracks that are there. Well, let's just continue to use them and maybe plug into those. But you still got the opportunity to just jump off those rails if you want to, if you've got a different kind of payment system. And it's just, I mean, no, I don't like the legacy system. I don't like any of that stuff. But, as the thing is, if you hold your crypto and you hold your assets, I'm more than happy to say, hey, because, everybody I know, it's just like, hey, Venmo me. And so I'm like, all right, fine. Well, you take Litecoin. Yeah, I mean, some people. But, for the most part, it makes it really easy now. Hey, this is already in place. And I can just take Litecoin and send it in, or Bitcoin and send it in. Litecoin's cheaper. I mean, you can send it into this platform and pay them that way. And like you said earlier, Johnny, I mean, they can just convert it. It's like, hey, I got this battery. Let me put this electric battery, that has all this charge on it and send that to you. And you can extract the energy out of it and put it in your gasoline, to use the analogy. And that's what you've got with Venmo now. I mean, that's a huge thing. So we're transitioning. It's not like an overnight thing where you can just shut everything off and say, hey, we're doing this. No, I mean, we've got to transition through that because so many people aren't aware and don't even know how to use the new infrastructure. Even though you can do it, they're not going to use it because most people are like businesses. They're like, I don't have the resources for this. I got the government knocking on my door, giving me a hassle all the time, and I can't learn something new. So if you make it easy for me, cool, I'll take it. If I can get it into what I need, awesome. And then I can, pay my employees, in the existing infrastructure. So it's not like we have an ideal world where we want to be. However, to get there, we've got to, you got to be flexible. You got to be able to do these things to where we can transition into it. And there's nothing stopping you from, participating in it. Like, okay, I went to the event, Lisa. How did I pay for the auction items I won? I said, hey, I'm going to pay in Litecoin. Boom,
you
I did that.
The Team Mighty wallet.
Right. I can pay it right there directly, and there's no fees. There's none of that stuff. But for the people that, are not real comfortable with that, I'm used to, just paying with my credit card. They can do that. There was a platform you use that allowed them to do that. So it's just where you're at. It's not going to happen overnight. We're in the middle of a transition. We're the Roman Empire's falling, but the money, we can still use it here and there. And, it's still got value to it. And we're going to continue to transact in it. But when we look back, we're going to say, well, shoot, why didn't they just transition over right away? Because it was a better form of money. Well, that's just not how it works, because on a day-to-day basis, we're just trying to tread water because, they're making everything difficult for us. Anyway, rambling. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just thinking about, Bix read that, email that Uncle Cliff sent him while we were here. He was sitting in the kitchen. Well, he had some app read it to us, but we all heard it. And then I was going back over it again today, and he said, just to be really careful when, because when the crypto's tanking, I think he said June, because a lot of them won't come back. And so I'm kind of watching this game that's going on. You're seeing MasterCard choose certain, which I really like, Polygon Matic. I think their tech is really good and a strong chain. They improve Ethereum instead of trying to kill it, those kind of things. Now they have their own chain, but I think Solana is so just crashes all the time. But then Trump comes out with his new NFTs on Solana.
Right.
So it's I don't know. It's hard to guess.
And
so
you know what?
Silver is a safe place to go right now.
You got to trust yourself, and you got to look at the things that you can use right now. I know I can use Litecoin right now, and I'm good with it, and I'm not worried about it. And to me, there's a lot of risk in those other things, even though they're the chosen ones going forward on some of these platforms. Still, I mean, there's a lot of the legacy money behind it to keep it running. They got to keep putting fuel into it to make it work and restart it and have devs and all this. And it's I'm old school. I'm a silver guy in my pocket. And, for the digital world, I'm looking at stuff. Hey, I like Litecoin because, you can call me a boomer if you want, even though I'm not by definition. But you can call me that. But it's I want something that I know I don't have to worry about. I know it's in my wallet and I can transfer it and boom, it's done. It's been running over 11 years. Done deal. Some people are that way with Bitcoin. It's just, to me, Litecoin's a lot more efficient and cheaper. So you choose what you want to use. And yeah, those things are probably going to be huge in the future. It's just that I'm more of a security guy. I'm more of a guy that wants, I'm very conservative when it comes to my money because I don't want to be losing it. And
you want something where if the developers go away, it's going to still run for years.
Exactly.
That was
Charlie
like
Dogecoin. Walk away, and it doesn't matter.
Dogecoin had no development at all for years, and it still mined block after block.
It still ran,
and it still worked. That to me is a good thing. You don't want to have people keep tinkering with it. Right. Now you're getting into stuff that's risky. To me, there's the few crypto commodities. And then there's crypto tech.
And Japan just ordered that a bunch of these cryptos were property. I don't know which one specifically or what the specifications were, but they just ordered that it's property, which that would be like a commodity, right? How does that translate to the US?
I would guess if they're saying it's a property, that's like a commodity.
Okay.
The criminal thing is that the SEC could just come out and say, here's the coins we have no jurisdiction over that are clearly commodities, but they know that'd be too bullish for those coins. So they have to keep you in this state of confusion. It's all part of their plan.
Yeah. So if this is true, hello to everybody at DeVry University in Encino, California. Cool. Johnny, Westwood, and I all say hi, and you guys are in the right place at the right time, and we love you too. So thanks for watching.
Hey.
I love you. And the whole property thing, if you own it and if you've got the ability to take whatever crypto it is and put it in your own wallet to where you can control it, to me, you own that. That is your property. Now, you might buy a property that, ends up being garbage because, it's in the middle of, a place where, there's shootings all the time and nobody wants to buy it. I mean, that can happen. Or you can have a property that actually produces something going forward. You can grow your own food. You can live on it and have safety. I mean, so there's different kinds of property. But if you hold it in your own possession, to me, that's, it's property. You have it, and you can transfer it anytime you want. And so there's a lot of cryptos like that. It's just that I fall on the side of, I want something that's proven. I want something that I know is going to continue to work. And I want something that's got a finite supply. I don't want to have to depend on, enough money coming into it to where we got to pay developers to continue to, make changes and do this and keep it running and restart it. And so I'm not against any crypto at all. I mean, it's just that I choose, that's my path. I choose those safe things. I want digital silver. And so I resonate with Litecoin.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of the way I look at it. I know that Litecoin's going to be around for a long, long time. And guess what? The founder of it never left the project. So you think
I
about
like
that.
Litecoin because it was simple.
It's easy, yeah.
I
It's
fell in love
liquid.
with the Bitcoin story, and then I found out about Litecoin. I said, well, it's 4 times as many coins. It's 4 times as fast. It's what they consider like binary compatible with Bitcoin. So meaning if you can code Bitcoin into something, it's very easy to code Litecoin into it. I saw this as all good things. I like the close relationship to Bitcoin. I like that it complemented Bitcoin. I like that it wasn't trying to do all these things. Money, you want to be simple. You don't want your money to be complicated. That's where I defer with the crypto tech. I like the idea of crypto tech, but it's not something, I don't look at it as a store of value. It's a lot of question marks out there. It's speculative. Now, like DeFi's crypto tech. I want DeFi to work because it puts pressure on the regular banking system. It gives us a way to transact in a more peer-to-peer manner. Would I go putting all my money into DeFi? No. Would I speculate and put a little bit in and look at it as a business venture? Yes. But if you invest in a risky business, that's not a store of value. That's a speculative venture. So that's how you kind of have to look at it compared to your savings. Litecoin, Bitcoin, that's more savings. It's more your store of value.
It's for the future. I mean, that's why, like, I remember watching Ben early on, and it was like buy and hodl. Hodl, hodl. Everything was hodl, 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 hodl. We're going through this transition where the US dollar is dying. We're, whether it's BRICS or these countries working together to trade outside the US dollar, like, the show's over. The ride's been fun with US being, the biggest bully in the world. And now all the other little kids in the yard got together and said, hey, you tired of this? I'm tired of this. You tired of this? And they're figuring out a better system, a better way to engage with each other. And we're going to be left out in the dark. So I still think there's the good guys that have a plan behind the scenes that are going to bring America back. And we can all choose to be a part of that. If we do things like shop local, if we do things like support one another, if we do things like recognize, peer-to-peer, the value of working peer-to-peer and respecting people's IP or intellectual property. Bix and I had a very feisty discussion one night, and then he had to go to bed because he was exhausted, and then I turned it on Westwood. But I think that we're going to have, it's like it is that, different way of interacting. And I think it has a lot of possibility. So I'm excited about it. Change things up. I'm tired of the bad guys winning all the time.
We got to keep the hope. We do hope there's, and there is, there's some Congress people and stuff we see, they are fighting for freedom. They are talking, they do understand Bitcoin. They are questioning people about it. They are trying to promote things that protect our freedom. So, let's keep hoping for the good guys. It's not all bad guys out there.
Yeah.
It's because the government's big. I don't agree with it being big. I think it's a waste, but there is good people that are in there. So I want my energy behind those good people. I support those good people. I might say, hey, I want a small government. But if you're in these positions, I support the good people because that's the system we're in. So it's kind of
but a bunch of people, and Vanderstill just came out with a video, and I shared it. I think I shared it to Patreon as well, where they've come out with some research that a bunch of people never signed their oath to office. Did you see that?
I saw that. There's been somebody else was talking about that too recently, and that.
Oh, okay. Not just Ann Vanderstill. Okay.
Yeah, I forget who was talking about that, but it was
That's,
saying
that's an important thing. I mean, you used to, a clan would kill you if you didn't like swear a blood oath and say, hey, listen, you're giving up. We've defeated you. We're going to let you live, but you need to swear an oath to the new, ideal. And I mean, it's a big thing. I mean, if you really think about it, an oath, it's your word. And if you can't give your word to an ideal or an idea, then, I mean, a lot of times in history, you didn't make it. They said, okay, fine. They needed that seal. They needed that confirmation that you're on board. And so for them not to do that, if they haven't done it, I mean, it is a big deal because they're just swearing an oath to freedom. They're swearing an oath to the Constitution. And you're going to abide by it or you're not going to abide by it. I mean, don't we want everybody to abide by the Constitution, who we elect or who's appointed by those people we elect? I mean, we should. I mean, that's what unites us, we the people, the Constitution, in order to form a more perfect union. Look at the preamble of the Constitution. I mean, that's an important thing. And if they don't do that, then they should do it. And then it's like, okay, now you're on record. Now you've given your word. And if you break your oath, you break your word, then, well, you need to be held accountable.
There should be some accountability. And that's what, I'm tired of people breaking their word and there's no accountability.
Your word
and it
should be your
just keeps
bond.
happening. Yeah.
Exactly. You're right. 100%.
Hey guys, I got to check out today.
All right.
All right,
Thanks,
brother.
Thanks
Good
for letting me
seeing you,
on
Johnny.
Friday happy hour. You guys are the
Yes.
best.
We love it having you
Love
here.
it.
So yeah.
I
Thanks
brought-
I'd love to see you in the bar sometime.
I brought
We can
my
have the
cup to
discussion in
be
real
my
time.
mug to be festive with you guys.
There you
Cheers. Thanks, Johnny.
go. Love you, Johnny.
I actually
You're the best.
what a good tumbler cup though. Or
I'm gonna order. So I'm gonna create new ones for this year. And then when we do meetups, like there'll be some bonus thing if you bring your cup or something,
These
so
are
we can
pretty-
get.
I've been
Try to get
rocking
more.
this everywhere I go. These are badass. I
Love
like
it. That's great.
I like them. They're Johnny Litecoin approved.
Johnny,
There you go.
Litecoin.
Stamp of approval.
I love it. All right, guys.
All
Well,
right.
Westwood, are we going to do
You
Twitter
guys.
Spaces tonight? Bye, Johnny.
Bye.
Bye,
See you,
Johnny.
Wes. See you, Lisa. Bye,
Later,
everybody.
bro.
See you. Bye. We're
I
doing
don't know.
Twitter Spaces
I
tonight.
don't know. Are we? How far are we into this? Oh my gosh, we're almost an hour.
An
Holy cow.
hour.
It's crazy. It went so quickly.
I know. Well, tell me what your rant's about.
I don't even know. I could rant.
Did you
about
take
anything.
notes?
If you look, I got some notes. I could go over. It really comes down to where we're at right now. We
Johnny
argue
does
about
not surf. He's in New Jersey. I don't think they
Well,
surf in New Jersey, do
Yeah,
they?
you probably wouldn't want to surf in those waters. It's hard telling you might run into a body or something, and speed bump in the water. You never know. Crazy stuff.
might
Down the
be
shore.
big.
You got to go down the shore.
Down
Look
the
at the
shore.
chat real quick. Scott Hill all over the place with the Litecoin sign. Cool.
Yeah, I like the Litecoin sign.
We're at a point, if it does happen to where, we've got this crash in November and everything kind of falls apart. The national stage, let's get into that. The national stage, like Johnny said, there are people, you think about the Roman Empire, there were voices that said, hey, listen, things are not good. Things are going to fall apart. But it came down to, you look at states and what they're doing right now. So at the national level, you've got people, Ted Cruz being one of them talking about Bitcoin, Thomas Massey, a freedom-oriented person out of Kentucky. You've got
Caitlin
these
Long.
voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You've got these
Tom
voices.
May or Mooney. Who's the one that's his last name's like Mooney or Money?
Yeah, there's that.
Tom
And there's,
Emmer. Yeah.
There's
a bunch of
Tom Emmer. There's people that are out there. It's just that they're fighting against a system that has been entrenched for so long, and they may not be able to make a difference. But the thing is, they've got a voice. But you look at what the states are doing. See, they're feeding off that energy and saying, "Hell, okay, fine. We can do it here at our local level. We can do it in Oklahoma. We can do it in Montana. We can do it in these states." And that's what's important. And then take it further at the local level, because all power is derived from the people. If we just decide at a very local level to break free from that, and take inspiration from those people that have that big bully pulpit, that have that megaphone at the national level. If we do that in our local lives, and at an individual level even, you've got the ability to do that now to where you can say, no, I'm not going to play in the casino anymore. I'm going to exit. They're vampires. And, how do these people really affect me at the national level? Do they? I mean, when you really think about it, do they really affect you? You've got the ability to get outside that system now. And I think that's important to realize that you've got power at your everyday level to take inspiration from those people and do things that you want, rather than getting frustrated and saying, they're never going to pass legislation. There's a divided house, and it's never going to get through the president. He's never going to sign it. You can't think that way. You've got to look at it as it's crumbling, and the dollar is crumbling, and other nations are getting out of the system. They're walking out. So, take that for what it is and make your own decisions. And, whether it's crypto, whether it's silver, whether it's whatever it is, whatever your level of freedom is and however you can take control of your life.
Maybe it's food and land for your family and a tractor,
gasoline,
and who knows what that is but have it in your own possession and look out for your family. Yeah, for sure.
No, that's very important to do. Do I want to rant about anything? Not really. It's just, I can rant about anything, but Sudan Civil War, I got that written down. Sudan Civil War, you've got the United States not bringing Americans home, whereas the Chinese are doing it. Other countries are picking people up and getting them out of the country, whereas our military got escorted out and flown out, and then the American people who are there, the citizens of the U.S. who are there. You know what? Everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
That's terrible.
It is
Once
terrible.
again, that's a Afghanistan part 2.
It is.
They are pulling the military out
people.
and not protecting the people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're for, is for we the people. Like, that's disgusting to me.
They're just not going to do it. They're not going to do it. There was a Q clock. Let's go a little bit of conspiracy. There was a Q clock.
Oh, yes.
The countdown. And
was that also you posted your Litecoin watch? Were you nodding to that?
I don't know. I just took
I don't know. Maybe it was just.
I don't know. It just happened to be a random time, But there was there's a clock that was out there, and the last time it was out there, it had a countdown, and when it went to 0 the next day, that's when Trump was indicted, and the clock is counting down. It ends this time over the weekend. It ends, I don't know, it's on the 30th or the 29th this weekend, because May 1st, Beltane is the end of the sacrifice period. It happens on May 1st. And so you've seen a lot of sacrifices in that 13 days leading up to it. You see these news, Tucker and Don Lemon, and people sacrificed and pulled away. But that clock expires this weekend, and I expect a big event. I don't know what it is. It's hard to say, but it's just a nod to be prepared. Something's probably going to happen that is important. And it's just, those are just warning signs along the road that, hey, bridge out ahead, so you can take precautions before you, just floor it and go into the river and drown, So I think it's important that we all are aware of the circumstances we're in right now. Things could fall apart at any moment.
Quickly.
Very, very
and
quickly.
There was something if you start paying attention, we get these announcements on Sunday that such and such happened in the Supreme Court, this and that happened. And I'm like, it was Sunday. Why is that happening?
Because the news media is not there, and they just put it out there, and
do
it just
some
kind of goes
research
away.
about that.
But it's happening. Things do happen, and there are good guys running things. There are good guys coming forward and saying things to awaken people. And hey, if the whole thing's collapsing, there are voices of truth that are coming out and saying, hey, just letting you know what's going on, letting you know that a lot of these things were lies. And ultimately it comes down to you making personal choices. Like you always say, take personal responsibility, and you got to trust yourself. You've got to know that you've got the answers inside of you. You have direct connection to your creator. You've got the ability to formulate these thoughts. So don't look to somebody, to say, and I see church memberships starting to go up now, and that's what happens.
There's a new movie coming out about Jesus revival, about like these stuffy old people in a church really embracing like the hippie movement. And I think, my favorite Bible verse is love one another. Not just because it was simple and short to remember, but to me, that's where truth is. That's where you're standing toe to toe is would you stand in that other person's shoes when you're doing a deal with somebody and say, yes, that's fair? You know, that's more important than being able to sleep at night, knowing you did the right thing. You were being honest. You had an exchange with somebody. You're being honest. Like, then you don't have all that burden of, you know,
Guilt,
trying to get
karma,
yours and
whatever you wanna
whatever.
call
Like,
it.
yeah, because any way that you're provided for, it all comes through God, the universe, the creator, whatever you want to call it, whatever your relationship is. But that's what we have to start, like all this stuff that we think we're all protecting ourselves. You're not protecting yourself. You educate yourself, you become personally responsible, you make a choice, but God's our provider and protector. And any project, if you want to have more blessings in your life come to you, then you have to be blessing other people, because it has to go somewhere where energy moves. It cannot be created or destroyed. So it has to keep moving. It can't stick in you. If you're hiding it away, then it's not going to, the fountain's going to turn off. You have to always be moving it and moving it through you, blessing other people. So anyway, I'll get off my little rant there too.
No, that's awesome, because it's true. Because, you know, I showed up at home and I took all this stuff out of my car and I looked back.
Yeah.
Look, there's a 10-ounce silver bar just looking at me.
And you were so sweet about it. You're like, who did this? And I was like,
I know.
well,
I'm like, because I couldn't understand it. You know, I was trying to get my head around it. I'm like, you know, no, this didn't feel right. It didn't feel right to me. You know, why is this there? You know, and I was trying to wrap my head around it.
And then I reminded you, you had
thank God you did, because I'm like, oh, okay, because I'm trying to think back. I'm like, how did it get in here? You know, and then it was Paulie's silver bar.
I thought maybe Amber might have dropped it for you, because she was buying things in the auction and giving them away to people.
Yeah,
like she bought the Jenny Moonstone reading and gave it to Amy, and then Amy gave it to Paigey, and everybody was like so generous at the thing. It was all about helping Mom A.
And that's what it is. It's passing
really
it forward. And I had somebody reach out to me and say, hey, can I get a QR code for Mom A?
Oh,
and then I reached out to her and she's like, here, you know, and then they were able to just, you know, and it's just, that's what's important, you know, knowing what's right in yourself and doing what you feel is right. I mean, we can all fix this. We just got to like relate to each other and, you know, fix it. We got the ability to do it. You know, we don't have to work within the system. We can work peer to peer. We have the tools to do it. So it's important to do that. You know, don't think that you're alone. Don't think that you can't make an impact, because, you know, everybody's, oh, nobody gets it. Everything I'm talking about, you know, no, you can't think that way, because everything you do makes an impact on somebody else.
That's
and you don't know what that impact is. And I've had countless stories to where people come back, I've done something or said something to somebody I don't even remember, and they're like, wow, that changed my life. I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah, the bus stop story for me is a big one. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. You know, I don't know that I've done that. So it's important that you just try and do the right thing. And like you said,
that's something Ben says. He says, like, just smile at people. That's a gift you can give. Doesn't cost you anything, but it's contagious. And you might cause somebody to have a little positive emotion, little frequency change in their soul, and it might help them to have a little bit brighter day. You know, if we can all just think about that and do what we can for each other. So
absolutely. And so whatever you do, whatever your hand findeth to do it with all thy might. And that's really what it comes down to. Give of yourself.
Oh, mighty in there.
Be kind and you know, that's just what you do, because you never know what impact you're going to have and how you change the future and the universe. And
yeah, I love it. I love it.
Be good.
Well, you guys can watch. I didn't, the Pebbleton Post, which if you're looking for somebody to help with your streaming and video and tech and all that at hosting an event, definitely reach out to the Pebbleton Post. They were great tech support for me and handled all of the camera, lighting, streaming, even the back end of the auction they were helping me with. Like, they just went above and beyond on everything. So check out the pebbletonpost.com, or maybe it's just pebbletonpost.com, I think. But you can also find them on YouTube. They're got great resources and support for lots of other things as we go through this in the future. But they streamed, or they recorded the whole thing, and it's on Patreon. So if you guys want to watch the event, we had Bix, Ben, Nana, and Cannon got up there and talked for a little bit, which was hilarious. of course, Westwood and I were up there, and Mame and Mitch popped in for a minute. We had some of the guys in the chat. Jim and Tom came up and spoke about
Mark
the community.
Weems was there.
Mark, he wouldn't come up on camera, but
Yeah,
he
I
was
know.
there.
He was there.
But there were some other people. And so if you want to watch that, you can join Patreon just for this month, or you can be a constant supporter of my work here at the channel. Join Patreon. The link is in the description, and you can go back and watch that video from the night. It was really awesome. So love to you all. I'm going to go make some dinner. Well, actually, who am I kidding? I'm not cooking at all.
Like
My husband is
Charlie's
gonna
make all that stuff. You know, I told you my biggest regret was not taking home some of those homemade croutons that he made. When I took the
Oh
pasta
yeah,
home and I
we'll
did
bring
the
some in
croutons.
June when we
Like,
come in June.
with my shoes and my cologne and whatever else.
All
I
the
left
things you
behind.
left behind.
Like a bad girlfriend, you know. Bad breakup, you know.
Yeah.
Just leave things behind so I can come back, right?
That's right. Well, you're welcome here anytime. You and your
I left
family.
my toothbrush. I haven't brushed my teeth in a week. You know, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself.
Well, don't come over here then.
You're
That
right.
is not allowed. Yeah. If anyone is in the Edmond area, my kiddo is, I was so proud of him just before we go. He was so cute. Where's my picture? I'll share it real quick. He heard that the neighborhood is having a garage sale, and he's like, wait a minute, can I sell my stuff and can I get some Litecoin?
Oh,
I was
there's a
like,
story about that too.
sure. Where's his picture? Here it is. So here's this little boy, the little entrepreneur of the future. He'll be out early tomorrow morning. He said, what time is too early? I said, probably don't go out before 7.
Yeah, that's too early on a Saturday morning. Oh, speaking of which, we don't have a class tomorrow, do we? It's next week, right?
No, it's on May 6th.
Okay.
But
we're
my
gonna have
website
Cinco de Mayo
crashed.
next Friday.
Yeah, my
Yeah, we
website
are.
crashed during the event. And so for some reason, I've got to contact Weebly and get some support on it and get it back up so that people can. So if you're wanting to join the class, you can email me litecoinlisa2@gmail.com and I'll add you to the class. But right now my website's just crazy and I've been dealing with things. And anyway.
Yeah, so if you want to
try
learn
get
about
it fixed this
crypto
weekend.
and ask questions, I mean, that's the place to go. I mean, we do it on
Mhm.
Saturdays from 10 to 12. Isn't that right? Central time?
Central.
Okay. Yeah, so, you know, any questions you have, you know, any things you've got issues with and you need a helping hand to get through it, that's what we're there for.
Yeah.
And just to, you know, because it's not easy. I mean, it isn't. We've been in it for a while, so a lot of the things that I don't talk about anymore, I'm like, we're here to answer those questions.
Scott, thank you. Scott goes, wait, how long can you stay on? I can probably get you a bunch of live viewers right now. That's so sweet.
Don't forget about the Canon dollar bill that I gave him. For a
Oh,
tip when I showed up.
tell that story.
Okay, so I was driving.
Uncle
for 10
Clint.
hours. Uncle Clint, heading west.
Mhm.
So last Thursday, I got up and left at about 6 a.m. and got to Oklahoma City at about 4:30. So, you know, 10 hours or so, stopping, getting gas and such. So I'm just like, you know, I'm getting close and I'm texting Lisa. I said, I need a freaking drink. You know, I'm driving. So I get there and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I sit down, you know, in the chair and outside.
Yeah. So last summer we put in a bar by the pool that my husband built, and Cannon has loved to play bartender when people come over. So
And
he
so
was
he-
thrilled.
Yeah, so he brings me out a drink and I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And he says, I made it. I said, you did? And I'm like, well, that's pretty awesome. It's a pretty good drink. And I had a gin and tonic. I'm like, oh, that sounds good. So I gave him a tip. I gave him a dollar bill.
Mhm.
And, you know, I don't know why I got these buy
Yeah,
Litecoin stamps on all mine.
Yes, there you go.
You know, it's
I don't
always
know
says buy,
what happened.
always says buy Litecoin on all the bills
Weird
that I have.
coincidence.
Yeah, so I don't know. It just happens. It's in my pocket all the time. They just show up. So I gave him a dollar bill tip, and what did he do after that? After he got the dollar bill,
He's like, Mom, can I buy some Litecoin with this? And I said, well, we can, but like, you want to do a transaction for $1, and then there's going to be like some gas fees. And he pulls out the other pocket and he's like, Tom gave me 29 cents that fell out of his pocket on the couch and told me I could keep it. So he was like,
there you go.
then he figured out, he looked at his transaction and he was like, You owe me a little more Litecoin because it didn't cost 29 cents to send.
Yeah, it's like
$1.
under a penny, so you like 20.5 cents. You got to pay me back.
It was really cute.
Yeah. So no, it's important. I mean, it's just the little things. So any dollar bill, any cash that I use, happens to have that buy Litecoin on it because you never know. Somebody sees that and they might click something in their heads, and you never know where it's going to go.
Okay, Scott is cracking me up. He said, I guess they're watching at the school, which I think I'm so humbled that they would be watching us, but they're learning a lot from you and Johnny. I think that's wonderful. But
that's good.
He said, everybody just yelled boo when they heard that I have a husband. I have a wonderful husband that works for me.
Boo.
Yeah,
no,
thanks,
he's a
Scott.
great
That's
man.
awesome.
And here's the thing. I'm getting ready to go home, and your husband, Charlie, he says, hey, you got any Crown at the bar? I said, no, I don't think I have any Crown Royal at the bar. So he's, I don't have the, it's got the velvet thing. And he says, here, take this with you.
Purple velvet.
And I said, well, I'm going to drink some on happy hour. And so, I've got this bottle of Crown that I've been drinking, courtesy of the Litecoin Lisa and her husband, Charlie. Awesome.
Yes.
I mean, they took care of me and fed me, and not eating an easy thing. And it was a wonderful
and
time.
Yesterday,
wonderful
I came
husband.
home.
Don't mess with him. He's very precise. He'll take you out.
He's a 3rd-degree black belt.
Laser focus.
And he's huge. But he's a wonderful guy, and he loves being supportive of all that we do and the road shows and traveling, helping people. Yeah, he's
really
very
is.
confident.
He can do pretty much everything. And he's very.
So
he can open windows with his hand, in the vehicle and do things. And
yes, he's very bougie.
It's like magic.
Yes, he knows. He loves all the gadgets on the cars, because he was a
knows
car
his
guy
stuff.
for so many years.
Right.
Yeah. So he loves cars. I love cars. We're supposed to be getting Grace back soon. When I do, I'm going to do a video and go for a ride in Grace once we get her back. We still have to do a new paint job, but structurally she'll be like totally sound, all new, like struts and things and whatever.
See, that's my style, that kind of vehicle. I love that.
Yeah, so she's a 1983, I think.
Yeah.
Mercedes D, a diesel Mercedes. So she sounds like a tractor coming down the road. I can't sneak up on anyone, but it'll run forever. And my friend's dad bought it from Germany and had it shipped over here when he was in the military in the 80s. And so it's kind of cool to have like a one owner Mercedes that a friend owned, and then you restore it. We love all that stuff. Oh, there was a thing about, was it New Mexico just passed a law where they're allowing farmers the right to fix their own stuff, which I was like, why is that even a thing? Do you guys have that in Illinois where they have to take it to the dealer
The crazy thing about Illinois, I talk to people, they're like, well, can that car pass certification? Because those cars I have.
Oh, please.
Right. They're not going to pass. But there's some states where you got to get it certified and pass a test and make sure it's got certain emissions in this now. You would think Illinois is going to be one of those, but no, because we've got tractors running down the road, spewing diesel everywhere with no license on it, with a slow moving vehicle sign, and 12-year-old driving it. And it's no big deal. Like electricity, I can do my own home electric, anything I own, I don't have to have a license or anything. So, that's dangerous, but there's a lot of freedom here as far as those things. I mean, it's just when you kind of get into the urban areas to where it gets locked down. So we get a bad rap because of Chicago. I mean, but we're a lot of farmers where I live, and it's like, you can't really tell them not to fix things because that's what they do. They just make things work because they got to work, got to grow food,
Right.
But no, we really don't have any of those types of regulations. They just hit us when we renew, you got to pay the sticker fees and all that stuff, the government infrastructure. And I'm still waiting on that fine. I was
thinking the same thing.
Waiting on that fine from that toll that I missed, when I did a roundabout and got gas.
I think they mail you a love letter.
Yeah, I'll probably get a $2.50 bill in the mail that they paid. I don't even know how much before the stamp now. It's kind of silly, but
yeah. It's kind of wild. Yeah, I'm with Sean, allowing them the right. It sounded so ridiculous, but I know New Mexico is really
it's a weird state. It's kind of a weird
strange
state. It really
laws.
is. very rural in a lot of areas, but yeah,
it is. But then at the same time, there's like the laws and the voting stuff ends up being very blue. So
it's
I know when
strange.
Ben and I drove through on our way to Utah during the Great Infection, like they would not serve us in the drive-through until he put a face diaper on. It was so
Really
ridiculous.
in the drive-through, even
In the drive-through, they were like, "Sir, you have to put a you know what on." I was like, it's like 11 o'clock at night. We've been on the road all day.
a happy face. I
Ben's-
could do that.
Yeah, and he
No,
made
I'm
it. They made him. So he had a bandana or something in the car, and he
Yeah.
tied it on. He goes, "Does this make you feel better?"
Right. It's true though. My daughter,
So-
one of the colleges she was looking at going, or I was looking at her to go to, was a college in New Mexico, and I'm like, man, I mean, you can go there. It's like cheaper than going to school here. And she says, "Well, I don't want to go there. I might get trafficked." And I mean, just I don't even know where she came up with that stuff. But I mean, it's that
she's a smart girl.
Yeah, it's that knowing where you're at and kind of thing. It's important to know where you're at and know what your environment is now, because a lot of things are changing and a lot of awakenings happening and all the new rap.
And that's where it's gonna look darkest before the dawn, because all this dark stuff has been happening
it's already been
where
happening.
nobody's known and seen it, but now the light is shining on it. So
The
you're
lighthouse
seeing
is
this,
on it now, baby.
right? You're seeing all this horrible stuff out in the open. And we have to look at it. That's where I used to get so upset, or I still get upset, when they tear down monuments or they tear down things that bad people did, because like we all need to look at it and say, no, that was wrong. And we need to remember it so we don't repeat it. I don't know what the saying is about if you destroy history, you're bound to repeat it yourself or something like that.
So leave that stuff up as a monument to the history and know what the history is behind that. And just like Andrew Jackson, it's like, oh, everybody loves him because he saved the banks. But I mean, this is didn't like Indians, didn't like black people, the biggest racist president, one of the biggest we've ever had. So you got to look at the good and you got to look at the bad, because there's, we're mixtures of good and evil, all of us. And so you've got to look at individuals as what they are and learn from that going forward. Did some good things, but there's some other things that are not very good. And to tear down a statue just because of one point is not a good thing to do. Otherwise, what did Gandhi say? He says, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. And I think that's something that, we should really pay attention to.
I know, but was he telling little boys to suck his tongue too, like that?
Like the Dalai Lama.
Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
Like now, I just think all those people they lift up on a pedestal, all the people we lift up on a pedestal,
are probably not worthy.
Including Trump. I love Trump, and I used to, and he is also an asshole. Let's just be honest,
He is.
And
absolutely. I wouldn't want to work for the guy.
No. A friend of mine tried to do a deal with him for a helicopter one time, and he really tried to screw him over.
And he turned on him. Like,
yeah.
whoa, hey, what happened? And so, but here's the thing: whether or not you like them, and it's throughout history, and it's through the people that are here now. You might not like Trump. You might not like Robert Kennedy. I mean, because of what you think they've done or they have done in the past. The thing is, what they're doing is shining a light on certain things, and it's up to you to see that when before you couldn't see it. And so it's important to pay attention to that stuff so that you can make a better decision, because we haven't been able to make good decisions because we've been so in the dark and so, Fox News and faux news to where they want to give us a narrative. And it's, it's
that's all coming out too, though. John Stossel did a report about the Mockingbird
Project. You think this
project.
is fake? Remember John Stossel, the WWF, and the one guy, he's doing an expose on the WWF and how it's fake, wrestling's fake, and then the wrestler smacks him in the ear and knocks him down. He says, "You think that's fake?" And and it's holy cow, So it's there's certain degrees of entertainment. There's certain things that are, but there is a reality out there, and I think we're getting smacked in the head right now with the reality. You might think it's fake. You might think this is not happening, but we're all going to have to make a choice. We're all at that point to where it's up to us.
But Reagan was a coward, Scott. I loved Reagan too, but he backed out.
Well, he got shot. They tried to kill him.
Well, they try to kill Trump all the time.
People. Right.
But that's part of the gig,
Yeah. And it's it's the information that comes out and you take it. And if it gives you if it gives you a different perspective on things that you didn't have before, and you can make maybe a better decision for your life and the life of your family, trust yourself and do it, you know, and look at that stuff. And these people are just, you know, actors on a stage. They really are. And in the case of Reagan, literally.
From Central Casting. Yes.
Yes.
But we know that it is Litecoin time.
Yes, it is.
Litecoin time as the right coin time. It's so funny, you know, Bix has pay me my silver now, pay me or go to jail on his beginning intro of all his thing. And my son told me maybe I should send that to somebody who owes me
I
a little money. But yeah, I thought it was great.
Get it in your possession if you can. You know, at this point, that's what it comes down to. Get what you can. And
our number did just jump up quite a bit. Hi, everybody at DeVry. Everybody say hi to everybody at DeVry, and thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for
watching.
Make
sure you like and subscribe. I would go there and do a meetup. Can we do a meetup at DeVry in California?
I would love to do that. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be the only way I would go to California.
Yeah.
You are in California?
Yeah, probably in the next month. I got somebody that might want me to show up for something.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I know why. I heard him giggling.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, you did. Yeah. So, you know, hey, you never know.
That might be a cool thing to do.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's just about, you know, waking people up and realizing that there are better ways. And you know, all the information's out there. There are programs out there. I shouldn't say programs because programming. I mean, there is information out there and there are tools out there to access that information. And that's what's important. You gotta, you know, I had professors in college in a very conservative school that Ronald Reagan went to in the Midwest, in the middle of cornfields. And there was a very, a professor that didn't align with what I, you know, believed in. And I had to take the class. I had to take it because I had to take a linguistics class. I mean, it was required for my major, and she was the only one that taught it. And I mean, we didn't see eye to eye at all. But I mean, it teaches you something going forward. Every example, every experience that you have, and you know, you take it for what it's worth. They have good knowledge to offer, but they also have an agenda too. Everybody does. But you got to ultimately trust yourself and believe in yourself and know that, you know, hey, I stand up for what I believe in. And you can't let somebody skew you from that, because you're going to live a life of regret at that point. You've got to know what's true in your heart. And sometimes, you know, you got to play the game to get by because the game still exists. Yeah. And you know, you get through it, and sometimes like a kid, you know, the parent yells at you and tells you one thing, you make sure you do this. Okay. And then you go do something else. You know, sometimes you got to play that game a little bit because, you know, you are working in a system that's been around for a long time, and a lot of abuses have been built up, a lot of corruption, a lot of control. But know that you have the ability to live the life you want to live if you really believe in yourself and you've done the homework, and you've only got to be accountable to yourself here. So, and what's inside and your connection to what's above. So just trust yourself.
Absolutely. Lots of great information, lots of good resources from my buddy Clint Westwood. You guys make sure you're following him too. Thank you to my new friend Scott Hill that's bringing a bunch of people in the live chat. We have some great people in the live chat. So we do the show every day, 4 p.m. Central, which is 5 p.m. Eastern. And weekdays, and we have a great community in our live chats. Probably definitely one of the high points in my day. So you guys make sure that you come back, you like and subscribe, and that you join our fam in the chat. We're going to have another meetup coming up in June in Illinois.
Somewhere in the central Illinois, near the Peoria area.
Near Peoria.
I don't have the exact
We have to go to the pizza place again. We always go to the
Peoria Pizza Works. That's where we always go.
Everybody loves Peoria Pizza Works.
All right, we'll go to the Peoria Pizza Works. That'll be our live happy hour. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll just do it right now.
So we'll, that date would be, what date would that be?
The 23rd,
June
3rd, maybe? Friday?
Let me look. Oh, my calendar is such a mess.
It'll be like June 23rd at Peoria Pizza
Yes,
Works.
June
We'll
23rd.
Live stream, 4 p.m. Central Time. We'll be there doing this show live.
Yeah.
Lisa will be next to me instead of, like this. Oh, she'll
Yeah.
be next to me right now. But
Yeah. You can also go and join my Patreon and watch the meetup that we just did with Bix Weir, Bitcoin Ben, Crypto Nana for Litecoin, which is my mom who got me into Litecoin in 2017. And I was like, why are you giving us this for a wedding gift? And she's like, because the Federal Reserve is not federal and there's no reserves. And I went down the rabbit hole of education. So
I need sound money for the digital age because we're all digital. Right. And now you can transact Venmo. You can use Litecoin on Venmo starting in May to where you can transact back and forth. Yep. So up to you what you want to do with it. You can hold the Litecoin. You can spend the Litecoin. You can cash it out into dirty fiat notes that, have no backing. It's up to you. It's your choice.
Canon doesn't want that dirty fiat. Oh, somebody was it Shane Blue? I think it was Shane.
Yeah, Master.
Posted Master in the comments on Twitter. He said he needs to have a Litecoin QR code on his little here, I'll show you guys. So we went and printed one out. And he's going to tape it on his jar tomorrow for the garage sale in the neighborhood.
There you go.
He's wanting to get some more Litecoin, so he's selling his toys. And where's the comments on it? Okay, here we go. And it says, that would look good with a huge QR Litecoin sticker on the jar. So we printed one out for Canon. And he's like, Mom, it's huge, though. I don't know if it'll work because he's used to seeing QR codes really little. But yeah, I told him we tested it. It still pulls up the address so he can take some Litecoin for his toys. My little entrepreneur. I'm so proud.
Yeah, I mean that's the great thing about it. I mean, you can be 12 years old and transact in Litecoin and be your own bank. I mean,
yeah, he said that his dad was going to take him to bank to get a bank account. But he said he wasn't old enough or something, or now that he's old enough, he goes, you were giving me Litecoin for Christmas for years now. I don't have to be any age to get Litecoin.
See, he gets it. It's like these traditional systems that have enslaved us for so long. We really don't need them. And it's just the people who are invested in that and haven't been educated to, no knock against them, but, they have not been educated that, hey,
they're all about to get burned. They're all going to lose their pensions, and Wall Street's crashing.
Exactly.
The money's printing, and all of that's going to go away. And so I always thought when Mom taught us about crypto and we first heard about it and started getting educated, I was like, oh, people are going to turn to this because it's so much better, because they can't print it to infinity. They can't steal your energy from you, all of that. And now I've realized it's not that. It's going to take pain.
Yeah, you gotta get punched in the gut and realize, well, they stole my stuff. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, how did they do that? And then you realize, well, it was all a casino. And we're playing with their poker chips, and they just decided to revalue them. I just watched Casino the other night. I love that movie, Casino, with Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro. And there's a couple of guys in there, they're scamming the casino, and they take them down to the room. Says, what are you, left-handed or right-handed? I see you dealing with your right hand. Says, yeah, I'm right-handed. Can you deal with your left? No. Takes the hammer to his right hand. It's the casino guy. He's like, boom, teaches him a lesson. I mean, and that's what this system does to you. When you play in their casino, I mean, you're a loser. You're gonna lose, and that was the number one thing. That was one of the things
they get to make all the rules.
Exactly, and that's what they said. It's like, hey, the number one rule in casinos is to keep people playing, because in the end, they lose and we win. And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a vampire casino that wants to take our energy away from us. And they control the money. They control the supply of the chips. They can reduce them, and make it tough for us to survive because we don't have as many. They can increase them, make us feel good, so we keep playing. I mean, if you ever played a slot machine, that's how it is. It gets you, oh, yeah, okay, one more time. Okay, yeah, I'm up. And then, eventually you lose what you walk in with. That's our economic system right now. Since the Federal Reserve was enacted in 1913, that's all they've done is kept us playing at the table. And all we've done is lose. So if you've got your pension stored up in poker chips, you're not in a good spot. And so you got to look for ways out. You got to look for things. Yeah, you got to look for things that are outside that system. And that's why I resonate with Litecoin, because it's a network that's outside of government, something that government can't control, something a central bank can't control. It allows you to transact value 24/7, 365 days a year.
Also
There's a
have the
limited
privacy
supply.
option
Yes,
with
you've got
Mimblewimble.
Mimblewimble.
So that's like dealing with cash.
Exactly. And they don't even know what you're doing at that point. You can
Mhm.
transact value and send it to somebody else. They don't know what's in your wallet. I mean, you've got total freedom to do that. And you are your own bank. You're a sovereign individual. You've got control of your energy, because that's all money is. You can take that energy anywhere you want. You can leave the country and nobody knows what you've got. And you can restore your life somewhere else. You can do whatever
Right.
you
And
want.
you're
That
going to get
freedom is
jumped
there.
going through TSA because you just have a string
Yeah, I
of
got a
words
pocket
in
full
your
of
head.
cash, or I got a bag full
Yeah.
of silver, and they're going to say, "Oh, cool,
Yeah.
we'll just take that because we think you're money laundering or something. You know, I think you're a drug dealer," and that's what they do. And once you understand that, then you say, this really isn't conducive to a free lifestyle. It's not the America I was raised on, and you start making changes.
There's a question in the chat from the campus audience at DeVry. They say, Clint, are you a Litecoin maxi, or are you diversified into other projects? And they aren't saying it like in an ugly word. They just
I
mean
don't
like,
take it wrong. I don't take
are
it wrong.
you?
No,
Yeah, okay.
Because I've got people that say, well, you should be in this coin or that coin. It's like, I got a little bit of everything. But what I really like and what I give to my daughters on their birthdays, what I'm going to give to my oldest daughter when she graduates from high school, and what I continue to do is Litecoin, because it's been around for over 11 years, and the network's never ceased to send a transaction. It's always worked. And so that's what I like. But, this system that we're in, this casino that we're in, it forces us to kind of, quote, gamble. And so, I've got other coins to where, hey, they might do very well. But ultimately, and a lot of people, what they'll do, if they do well in one coin, they'll put it in Bitcoin because they're confident. They know that's not going anywhere, and that's a store of value. I look at Litecoin that way because it's so undervalued toward Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, because it is a sound investment. It's a sound form of money. It's something you can use. It's something you can hold. So I'm not a Litecoin maximalist. I'm just very confident that Litecoin is going to be one of those digital currencies that's going to be around forever. Because if you look at PayPal, if you look at Venmo, there's 4 coins on PayPal, there's 4 coins on Venmo that they allow you to use. And there's a reason for that. And Litecoin's one of them. So, it's that coin and it's brought so many people together in our community, because when you start using other coins, you start saying, you know what, I feel pretty good about Litecoin. I don't have to worry about it. That network's not going to shut down. It's not going to get restarted. So I got all kinds of, I got a hodl bag full of crap coins. Trust me.
Talk a little bit about, talk a little bit about, you've been having a prediction around, is it mid-July, because of the Litecoin halving that's going to happen in August? So, right?
Yeah, the beginning of August. It depends on how much power is behind the network and how fast the blocks get confirmed, because it could speed up a little bit. But around August 2nd or 3rd, what happens is it's programmed into the Litecoin code to where every transaction block that's confirmed by the computer, the network, whatever computer or mining confirms that, they get Litecoin in return as payment. And right now it's, I think, 12.5 Litecoin per block. And that gets halved every 4 years, every 84 million blocks. I don't know what it is, but roughly every 4 years, the reward gets halved. And so August 2nd or 3rd, that reward's going to get halved for every block. So it's going to be 6.25 Litecoin per block. I think that's what it is. And then every 4 years, it continues to get halved. So I've done some research on it. I looked at the last 2 halving events to where the reward has got cut in half. And roughly 44 to 48 days, there's a window, is usually historically when Litecoin tends to kind of pump up in dollar price. There's more demand for it. There's more energy going into it. More people want it. And so I put the date on it, based on the last 2 halvings, that, okay, if we're August 2nd or 3rd, it's going to have. I go back 45-ish days, and that puts us right around June 17th to June 21st, to where you're probably going to see a spike in Litecoin. And then I
Father's Day.
Yeah, right around then. Right.
Right around
and,
there.
and,
Yeah.
And so what happens is it usually pumps up six times what the prior low was. And so the prior low in Litecoin in the last cycle was around $40. It's like 45, but I like to be conservative and say 40. So 6 times 40 is $240. So it should make $240 based on historical, just activity around June 17th to June 21st. So I just said, you know what? June 17th, Litecoin's going to be $240. And that's my prediction based on just the research that I've done. And so right now we're at what, April 28th? Less than 2 months away. I see it doing pretty well. And I think once we get into May, I think it's going to do really well.
Yeah, I saw some charts of it going to like 1,000. None of this is financial advice. All those things.
Though, because it's got a lot of catching up to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like to be conservative, and I'm still 100% confident that you're going to see a $240 Litecoin in the middle toward third week of June kind of time frame. Just because that's just kind of what it does. I mean, Litecoin's one of those things to where it just sits there and it goes sideways, doesn't do a whole lot. And you're like, what's it doing? Oh man, this coin pumped up. Litecoin's a dog. The thing is, I mean, when it moves because people get it and they're just, and you see a big green candle on the chart. And that's why you got to know if you're.
Well,
if
and
you're
Johnny had talked about that Litecoin may be one of the only ways you can privately buy Bitcoin in the future as these CBDC roll out, because they'll know every transaction. They'll know everything you do when the
because
CBDC
they can see
rolls
it on
out.
the blockchain.
Right.
You can see it on the CBDCs. The CBDC is just an abhorrent thing. It's a terrible thing because it's ultimate control. If you watch the Black Mirror and you watch to where you get a social credit score, and hey, guess what? You got to take the steps and not the elevator because your social credit score is too low. That's the kind of world they want to create for us. That's what these
that exists right now in China.
Yeah.
They walk up. If you walk up to a like they do it with their face, I guess. They walk up to like a vending machine and wanted to buy whatever. Well, no, you got caught jaywalking today, so you can't buy anything, and their wallets are shut off, and it's all like out of their control. They have no way to I can't imagine not being able to feed your family. Or whatever, because I jaywalked.
Well, they want you to come begging, and that's why the money that comes to the women and infant children, the WIC program, the food stamp program.
Yeah, it's all control mechanism.
Yeah, it used to be to where they
them
send
to
you
not have fathers.
Correct, because you'll get rewarded for having a broken family,
for not putting your baby's daddy's name on the birth certificate. You'll get more money, so don't do that.
No.
Yeah.
And that's where they want you. They want to take that a layer further to where, I mean, it used to be you get a check in the mail, and you'd be able to go cash it at the bank. Well, then it's, hey, you can put it on a debit card. And then they start depositing that. And then pretty soon you don't have an option to where it's either direct deposited or it's going on the debit card. See, so we're already digital. It's already controlled. They want to take it a level further to where, let's say Westwood goes to Oklahoma City. And let's say I'm an electric vehicle. To where, I don't have decentralized gas or diesel, and I'm dependent upon a centralized grid because that's what electricity is. It's centralized. What if the power station gets blown up? Well, the whole thing goes down, and you there's no way to run. Your car's out of juice. But let's say, the car's got a wallet in it. It goes to the gas station, pulls up to the pump. Don't need to take a card out. Boom, it just wirelessly transacts, and you can only put $20 in. Because you've driven a long way today, and your footprint, your carbon footprint's kind of high.
Right.
We're not going to let you put more more electricity into it, and so they can completely control that because it's all programmed. It's all centrally controlled. It's all about controlling how you move, and that's what they want though. And so you don't want to be in that situation. They want to take it digital, and they want to control it through a central bank digital currency to where they can shut it off and they can say, Westwood, you smoked too many cigars. We're not going to let you order anymore. You had a little too much Crown Royal.
So Johnny talked about that. Johnny talked about that credit card companies already, or insurance companies already do that. They buy data from credit card companies about what items people are purchasing in different areas. And then they might charge more for insurance in a certain area. If that's an area, what's your zip code? Well, there's a lot of wrecks there for cars,
Yep.
or they buy a lot of cigarettes there. Well, we're
Yep.
going to charge more for health insurance.
Exactly.
So
It's
that
all numbers, it's
information
all
is
digital.
already being
Right.
sold
And they want
about
to treat
you.
right. They want to treat you like, it might be that, hey, you know what? My granddaddy smoked cigars until he was 100 years old and never got lung cancer. It might be genetic that I just can't get it. But the thing is, well, we're going to put you in this pool, and since you do these bad behaviors, we're going to penalize you for it. It's like pre-crime.
Mm-hmm.
You watch that movie with Tom Cruise, and it's, wait a minute, I didn't do anything. What you're going to, it's going to happen. So we're going to stop you from doing it. And that's what they want to do. And then who gives these people the right to control my life and your life? What right do they have when they're flying on their private jets and going to all their conferences in Davos and, having all their fancy food and having their, whatever shipped in for their pleasure? I mean, what gives them the right to tell you what to do? And so that's when it comes down to, you got to realize that these people are nothing but cardboard cutout shills. They're just, listen, we thought we got rid of the kings and queens and the pharaohs and all that. No, they just went behind the scenes, and they got front men that run the thing, and all they want to do is steal your energy. We live in a world of abundance. We've got all the energy we need. Just go look at Nikola Tesla. I mean, we've got all the things we need to be able to function, but they want to have artificial scarcity. They want to make us think that we don't live in a world of abundance. We're going to kill ourselves. We're going to pollute ourselves. The thing is, they're not doing anything to fix it. They're doing all their thing. They're flying around. They got all their homes running on natural gas and all this stuff. Look at Al Gore. He's got how many homes, and look at all the stuff, his carbon footprint. But it doesn't matter, because they are anointing themselves as gods, and we're supposed to worship them and follow them at every word that they say. No. I mean, I'm a freaking human being. We had a revolution because of this. These people trying to tell us what to do. That's not how things work. Let the free market decide. And if it's not just, the market will decide. We've got too much government intervention. We got too many government people picking winners and losers and throwing money. It's like corn growing out here. They subsidize the corn. Well, the corn has no nutrition in it. It's all genetically modified by all these seed companies. But the government says, grow the corn. We got to feed the world.
Or they pay farmers. Sometimes they pay farmers not to grow. Right. And then they go, oh, we have a food shortage. I'm like, I know you told our family farm not to grow. Because they do control it all.
They got their paycheck, and they're like, okay, but see, that's the thing. You just don't go along with it. You don't participate. You don't put on, you don't defend these people in their actions. And it's all about us. They have nothing. That's why I call them vampires, because they have no power unless we give it to them. You look at these vampires, they're just dead, rotting corpses. That's all they are. And, they just wither away and die. They look like Nosferatu. But then they look all nice and beautiful, like in the Hollywood movies, because they're taking all our energy. They're taking our blood. They're taking all that life force. Might be going by a different name, starts with an A too, in the modern day. But, look at Hunter S. Thompson and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Look at that scene. But you've got, you got to realize it's all a fraud. It's all a sham. I mean, that's why you got to trust yourself. And you got to realize that they're not looking out for your best interests. They're just lying to you. They just want to live in the ivory tower. They want to live in the castle. It's like the vampires do. And they want to make you think that, oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it. They make the rules. They're the smart ones. And, they're on TV for a reason. Yeah, because they bought and paid for all of it with Project Mockingbird. I mean, all these people are bought and paid for shills. Quit listening to them.
All of them. And none of them are better or more than any of you.
No, you're better than
trust
all of
yourself.
Right.
Check in with yourself and trust yourself. One more question before we go. Actually, I'm going to kind of combine it into two, or see if you can do a speed round for me.
All right.
They asked if you see any other coins doing well in the 24-25 bull run, and he has an ASIC miner. When ETH went from proof of work to POS, I went to ETC because of this. Yeah, I agree. Right. He says, are there better opportunities out there with my old ASIC miner? If so, where? This is for Westwood.
Boy, I'm not much into mining, but yeah, that's.
I have a friend who's really into mining.
Yeah, we've got a couple of friends who could probably answer that question better. To me, mining, I never got into it, and the reason why is I still work, I still make an income, and so I can take that energy and move it into, if I can buy Litecoin, a whole Litecoin for under $100 to me.
Yeah.
that's an easy decision because, I understand the math of it, and I understand that there's 8 billion people in the world,
What
on
would be
paper.
another coin that you see doing well in the 24?
I like
24
Digibyte.
hour?
I mean, under a penny. I mean, I gotta say, I like Digibyte. It's very decentralized. It's very big in the worldwide community. It's just not very liquid on exchanges. But I mean, for under a penny, for what it is, and if you look at the historical chart of it, to me,
And the
that's
DigiID is a great
there's a lot of
use
technology there.
case.
There's a lot of development there, and it's got a good. I like to look at the energy and the spirit of a coin, and it's been around since 2014, I think January 10th. So it's been running nonstop for 9 years. So it's got longevity. It's not something that's going to go away, and that's something you can mine probably with that miner. I'm not sure. They have 5 algorithms to where you can mine it. So you can probably pick
Maybe
one of
look
those
into
algorithms.
Digibyte.
Yeah, and try that. But I look at that as something that, I put my energy into because I have a lot of faith into it. It's proof of work. It's I like the coin. I got a Digibug that I drive around,
Yeah, I was going to say, you're a blue one. You brought it here to Oklahoma City. So
absolutely. So it keeps running.
Yeah. And a Digiscooter. We're going to be taking pictures, new set of pictures. Those flew out of the auction.
They love them.
Yeah.
I mean, you got one. You got it right there, or I can go get
I was
one.
going to say, I think I have
All
this one. I want to make sure I wasn't showing you all my.
Mitch is breaking into the chips that I'm saving for the meetup. No, those are for everybody to eat right now. I got more.
So
chips
this
in
is
the box.
one of them. The other one's up here of me and you.
Yeah, we got the lovely Litecoin Lisa.
That's the one
on
of you
back
and I on the
with
scooter,
pink-
and then
pink
this is the
22
one. Yeah, of Westwood.
with Westwood. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just a matter of, if you think about it this
If
way,
I
you can
can-
put your money into the existing system and take $100 bill, put it under your
Okay, see that
mattress, and
better?
think you're going to save it, but
Oh,
it's not going to
yeah.
hold its value. We use this example in our classes. In 1964, minimum wage was $1.25.
Mhm.
Crazy, $1.25 for minimum wage. But in 1964, it was, and you could have taken $1.25, and you could have held it, and it's going to be worth $1.25. However, if you've taken 5 quarters at the time, which had 90% silver, something that holds value and always has. I mean, Jesus was sold out for 30 silver coins. So, I mean, there's some value there. I mean, you saved, sold out the savior of humanity, for 30 silver coins. I mean, there's something there. So, I mean, in 1964, you could have taken 5 silver quarters because in 1964 and before, you had 90% silver in them. They took it out of the money supply. If you'd save those 5 silver quarters that have 90% silver in them, and right now you could take them to any coin dealer and you'd get over $20 for those 5 silver coins. And what's minimum wage now? It's not even $20. See, so silver, if you had saved it in a real metal in something that had real value, the money then had value to it. So if you'd held those things and saved them till now, it stands the test of time and it holds value over time. And that's the important thing. You want to have things that are going to hold value in the midst of inflation. So $1.25 is worth $1.25. You can barely buy a Snicker bar with it. But if you have 5, seriously, I mean, I don't know if you can at this point.
I don't know if you can either.
Ones.
I don't know.
But if you had those 5 silver quarters that you got in 1964, you can go get a $20 bill for them and have the $20 worth of purchasing power now. See, it holds its purchasing power. And that's the thing with sound money. Silver, gold, and the new cryptos, the digital money, those things are going to hold their value. And you can hold them in your possession and you can give them to your children. That's why my children, I give Litecoin and silver, because I know those things are going to hold value going forward. And so it's important to do that and think that way. And it's hard when you're 20 years old, because trust me, at 20 years old, I'm just worried about, how much is a Jack and Coke and, how much money. No, seriously. And I get it. But if you just take a little bit, that's my point, just a little bit out of that system and holding it and hold it in something that has real value, you're going to win, because most people don't understand that. And if you understand that, you're way ahead of the game. You just really are. And it's just important to take something and save it, just save a little bit. I tell my daughter, hey, you got a little money, put $10 in Bitcoin. You can buy it easily on Fold app. You can buy it, through PayPal, Venmo. You can grab that stuff and hold that stuff and take it in your own possession in your own wallet, and you're way ahead of the herd, because the herd is coming, because they know that you can't take gold and silver to Mars. I mean, you've got to have digital money.
No
Every
one's
sci-fi
going
movie,
to Mars.
well, you know what I'm saying, though. I mean, all these sci-fi movies, it's like they're not transacting in dollars and coins and any of that stuff. No, they're using digital credits. They're using something, they just swipe their hand or whatever it is, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
use their phone, and that's how it's so efficient, and that's what the future is going to be. It's going to be efficient, and so you've got to have those digital forms of money that are sound. And I think Litecoin's one of them, and I look at the history over 11 years running nonstop. Bitcoin over since 2009, January 3rd running. So you got to look at those things, have those things, and be prepared, because the rest of the people are going to wake up at some point and they're going to want it. And there's only so much to go around. It's a piece of the pie. You get a piece of the pie. Once that pie is gone, they're going to be coming to you. Well, how much do you want for that pie? No, I like the pie. I'm not going to give the pie up. I like the pie. And it's up to you to make call the price on it. It's like water in a desert. You got a case of bottled water. How much is it worth?
Yeah. No,
You
for
got
sure.
it. You can name your price.
I was trying to find the scooter pic for everybody, but
Of you and me?
yeah. I mean,
It's
I
on the
have
wall.
it. It's up
I'll
here
get
on the
it.
wall.
Hang on.
But I was trying to find it to share it on the screen, but the kids did something to my computer, and now I cannot make it play or show because it's on like a different screen. I don't know.
Sorry, making all kinds of noise, banging.
No,
around
you're
microphone.
good. You're good.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. There's our
There.
scooter
There
pic.
we are. Litecoin Lisa. It's like a jib jab. Here we are.
Oh, wait. Let me make you bigger.
We're in the
Okay. That's
There we
us
go.
in the cornfields,
riding off.
zooming off to go save the day with crypto and get everybody
Yes.
to get hard assets in their own possession. So that's what you can do. Share this video. Thanks to all of our new friends joining today. You really made me smile, and I needed a little bit of that today. So I appreciate it so much. Lead us out, Westwood. Tell
Now
them
it's
about
it's time to stop. No, it really it
Stop
does.
the vampires.
Yeah, I mean, we do this every Friday on happy hour. It's 4 p.m. Central Time, and I got people I work with. So, is it 4 o'clock yet? I'm like, I hope so.
Oh,
But it's important to realize that you're not alone. You might think that the system's working against you, and it is. But you've got to know that there are ways out of it. There are ways to say, I'm going to opt out. It doesn't take much. Just take a little bit of the energy and kind of get into those things that you have in your control, because you never know. You never know when those 5 quarters are going to, go 20 times what they're worth, because they are sound and they do have value. So put a little bit of that aside, and instead of just, having 5 Jack and Cokes, maybe have 4. And put the rest of it into something else that you can take with you.
how about just don't go to Starbucks and make your own coffee?
Yeah, exactly.
But
Grind
have
your
as many
own
Jack
beans,
and
with
Cokes
the
as
hand
you want.
grinder, like I do at home
Yeah.
every morning. And it's just
There you go.
you've got to do that, because it's a rigged system. It's a vampire casino. It really is. And if you sit playing at that table and think that everything's going to be okay, it's not, because they're in business to extract your energy, extract your wealth. Take what you make, put a little bit aside, and you'd be surprised, if you just save a little bit every week, how far ahead you'll get. Know what you're about, know what you believe in, and seek out that freedom, and put your energy into those things that matter. And it will work out. You just got to take that step, though. That journey of 1,000 miles, it might seem daunting, but it begins with the first step, and you got to take that first step, and you just do it.
So take responsibility for your health, your wealth, your personal safety, and we will all get through this together. So love to you all. Take care. Have a great, great weekend.
Shout out to Devereaux.